Sketching 3D shapes is a staple skill of the designer, but the ability to sketch the shadows they cast will give your sketches clarity and establish you as a designer who can communicate ideas with authority. By the end of this video, you'll be confident in adding cast shadows to your sketches and breathing new life into your design pages. In part 1, you'll see how simple it is to construct cast shadows. In part 2, I'll show you a way to add impact to your shadows. And hang around for a bonus tip at the end that'll lift your design sketching to a whole new level. Now the shadow is cast by your shape blocking the light. So the first thing we do is establish a light source. To keep things simple, we can think of the light source as a vertical line. The light direction comes straight from the base of the light source, and you'll see shortly that this light direction could be pointing anywhere. We also have the light angle, and this comes from the top of the light source and crosses the light direction. So let's look at how a cube casts a shadow. With the light source to the left of the cube, we can draw the light direction lines from the bottom of the corners of the cube, and these lines are parallel to each other. We then draw the light angle lines from the top corners of the cube. These lines too are parallel to each other. Where the light direction lines and the light angle lines intersect is important. This is because these points mark the edge of the shadow. So by joining up these points, we get the outline of the cast shadow. We can add a little line weight to the outline and then fill it with shading. Now it might be that I want my light source in a different position, so I can change my light direction and my light angle, and the same principles apply. My light direction lines are parallel and come from the bottom corners of the shape, and my light angle lines are parallel and come from the top corners of the shape. Again, the points where they intersect form the edges of the shadow. And to demonstrate that the light source can be positioned anywhere in relation to our shape, I'm going through the process again here. And you can see that the cube ends up appearing to be lit from 3 different light sources. We can use these same principles for constructing the shadow cast by any shape. Let's look at how a cylinder might block a light source and cast a shadow. Since a cylinder has a curved surface, there's no obvious point for our light direction or light angle lines to begin, so we can draw 4 vertical lines down the cylinder at 90 degrees to each other. And I can draw my light direction lines and my light angle lines from the ends of these vertical lines. I can then go on and join up my intersection points to recreate the ellipse shape that's effectively blocking the light. Joining this up to the edges of the cylinder gives me the outline for my cast shadow. With a cone, the light direction and light angle come from a vertical line at the centre of the shape. You'll find that it's good to practice with increasingly complex shapes, and this will demonstrate that the principle is the same throughout and regardless of the shape. If you want the sketches from this video, along with practice exercises and other useful resources designed to help you get to grips with sketching cast shadows, just follow the link in the description below. Now on to part 2 of this video. I said at the start that I'd explain how to add impact to your cast shadows. Well, here goes. Rather than sketching our light direction lines parallel to each other, we're going to take them all from the same starting point at the bottom of our light source. You can see that the lines diverge as they move away from the cube. And rather than sketching our light angle lines parallel to each other, we're going to take them all from the same starting point at the top of our light source. As I connect the places where these lines intersect and form the outline of the shadow, you can see that the effect is that our shadow is now in perspective. Sketching cast shadows in perspective suggests that the light source is nearby. When we work with parallel light direction lines and light angle lines, we're suggesting that the light source is much further away. Just before I go on to the tip I promised at the start that'll lift your design work to the next level, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications tab so you know when my next videos land, and please do hit the like button if you found this video useful. So how is it possible to lift your design sketching to a new level? Well, it's simple. We can add a shadow that lifts the sketch off the page. Well, kind of. A popular way of presenting design ideas is uncoupling the cast shadow from the object we're sketching. In other words, we lift the shape by detaching the shadow, taking it from beside the object and placing it underneath. There's no particular science to this technique other than recreating the footprint of the shape a little way below it and shading it in. If this video's been useful, you'll want to watch this one next.